I love this version of myself that you brought out. A memoir exploring poems, thought essays, and journal entries from a heartbreak. To the versions of myself that needed this, and to the versions of myself that will need this. The container with which we used to experience pain is the very same with which we used to experience joy. Author Preface. The intention of this book is to share my thoughts and feelings from a personal and biased point of view. There may be ideas that don't fit a particular person, and it isn't meant to be a formulaic solution/answer to heartbreak. Heartbreak has infinite complexities and nuances, and my intention with this book is to share my own perspective/experience, which may even be wrong. I am neither an author nor a poet. Some of these chapters can be repetitive and similar at times, even contradicting, and I recognize this is part of my writing style. I am an extremely flawed human being, with red flags I am sure I could write a book about. This piece of writing isn't meant to discount that, or claim that I'm above any of that, but rather an admittance of it. I am continuously learning about my flaws and trying to improve on them. Not everything in this book is for everyone, and there needs to be nuance applied to many perspectives. If you were abused, emotionally or physically, or your relationship was toxic, however you define this, then maybe it may not be helpful for you to read this book. I want to add a nuanced disclaimer here for readers. Heartbreak, like many things in life, is a complex, contradictory, and painful process. Yet, it's quite a universal experience for many people. My intention with this book is to share my different thoughts and explorations of the many complexities of healing and the letting go process. The book is a collection of my thought essays, journal entries, unsent letters, and poems relating to the most impactful heartbreaks in my life so far. I truly believe that it's these pivotal moments in our lives that can be the most transformative and evolutionary situations we can find ourselves in. I've found myself in different positions during heartbreak, different situations, and feeling many different ways. But the common denominator is that I always find some lesson at the heart of the experience. Every heartbreak that we go through is an opportunity. There are endless amounts of energy involved in love/heartbreak, and should we choose to transmute the energy, we can create anything that we desire. Generally, the preferred term in this book is significant person, SP, but the word X is used sometimes as well. This is to capture the fact that heartbreak isn't one-dimensional and may not always involve a traditional X. Discernment, the courage to be wrong or right. In the context of healing, discernment is the ability to pick and choose what makes sense in the context of your healing. It's very much the same for heartbreak. But what if we choose wrong? Then we accept and learn. Part of healing and rediscovering yourself is being able to listen to your inner voice and intuition. This is not your mind, but what you know on a spiritual level is right for you. There is no one-size-fits-all piece of advice or one way to live that aligns with every single person. Humans are not so simplistic. Part of the reason we fear discernment is because of our fear of being wrong. Be courageous enough to be wrong, because either you discover something people haven't come across, or you learn something about yourself There is no losing. As you read through this book, don't take anything as sacred. Question everything you read and really ponder why it makes sense or why it doesn't. This is the way to heal. Because what makes you happy and what works for you may not work for others. If you completely disagree with anything, awesome. Use that to reaffirm what you already know. If you agree, that's cool too. Every one of us is entitled to our own perception. The ultimate testing grounds for discernment is when we speak to friends, family, or are influenced by social media. Perhaps you come across a post about having to stop caring to heal and move forward. The question you must ask yourself is this right for me? Does this serve me in my healing? As long as you are concerned with other people's way of doing things or what is right, with nuance here, you will never be able to uncover your own authentic calling. Maybe heartbreak may look different for you. It's up to you to decide. Everyone is affected by everyone. We are constantly evolving and collaborating with others without knowing it. There is a constant flow of external influences, such as societal expectations, family opinions, and most importantly, social media. During the healing journey, be aware that someone else will always affect you in one of two ways. The first one, you disagree with them, reaffirming your own pre-existing beliefs. And secondly, you agree with them, changing what you have believed, or also reaffirming your beliefs. Without self-awareness and introspection, this can affect us drastically during a heartbreak. Do you really feel that way about your ex? Or did someone just tell you that's how you should feel? More often than not, healing is about learning to listen to one's highest self rather than the mind, which is a collection of so much external stimuli. But sometimes the line between these two is ambiguous. The key here is balance, as external stimuli can also be helpful when you veer off path. This is where the courage to be wrong is needed. Stick with something you believe in. Live it, understand it, and be with it. Should you be faced with its fallibility, gracefully accept that you were wrong and move forward. This is the process of moving on, because you have to be willing to accept that maybe you were wrong about the role they were meant to play in your life. Alright, we need to be more discerning. But what does that even mean? How can we do that? It's less about doing and more about being. Something my coach would always say to me. How you are is more important than what you do. This doesn't mean to not do anything, but to embrace the way of doing things rather than just focusing on the action of it. If this sounds a little woo-woo, here are some ways to be more discerning by doing things. But in the end, it really is about being a more discerning person. First one, build self-awareness. Regularly journal, film yourself, explore your thoughts and emotions without judgment, and just see them for what they are. What does it feel like? Is it physical? Are you making choices at the whim of these physical sensations? Seek feedback from a friend or mentor. Secondly, follow your value system. Spend time with yourself to identify your core values and what matters to you. When you are faced with a new idea, ask yourself whether it aligns with your value system or not. Use your values as a guide to evaluate ideas or make decisions. Ask yourself whether your priorities align with your values. Third, test your belief systems. Be willing to be wrong by actively seeking out different opinions and perspectives. Fourth, reflect on how your perspectives differ from others and try to understand why they think the way they do. Finally, embrace uncertainty. Open yourself up to the idea that you don't know everything. You don't have it all figured out, and you probably are wrong about a lot of things. It's okay to not know what's coming. Allow yourself to embrace the unknown. The world's interpretation and why it sucks so much being left behind. When you fall deeply for someone, you and this person create a world together. You develop an understanding and an expectation. This might look like specific rituals, cute interactions, special things, and sometimes even a shared perception of the world, things, people, etc. Your shared world is separate from the external reality that everyone else lives in. It's a world that only the two of you know of. When someone breaks up with you, they essentially live that world. So you're left behind in that world you've created together. It feels lonely because you are in a world all by yourself. It's as if you're the only person in the world. I see it this way. There are three worlds. Your world, their world, and the world the two of you create together. We switch between these all the time when we are in a relationship. Whether we take them to our own world or visit their world, we switch between these worlds all the time. However, during a breakup, it seems like everything is just focused on the shared world with them. When someone leaves you, they essentially go back into their own world, but have the ability to jump in and out of their world back into your shared world. They may be happy, meeting people and having fun, and then some random late night when they miss you, come back into your shared world with a miss you text at 3 a.m. Because you are stuck in your shared world, you will just accept this back and forth. However, part of healing is realizing that you cannot sustain this shared world by yourself. You have to return to your regular world and regular life, eventually. Part of the reason why many people don't want to do this is because their own world is a place they really don't want to be. If you were unhappy before a relationship, it's quite likely you will be unhappy after as well. This is why many people go through dramatic transformations after a heartbreak, because they finally realize that their own world is something they need to take care of and nourish. These worlds that we have aren't actual things, but perceptions of ideas which we hold inside of our minds. The reason many people hold on for years after a breakup is because they are doing anything to keep the shared world alive. They are holding on because the thought of going back to their own world is too dark, too scary. But hope is not lost. As hard as it is, you have to be the one to close up shop. You have to be the one to end this story that is no longer a story, to say goodbye and to let go. You will find it again. You can rebuild and you can restart. This is the first step. If you ask for something, the universe isn't going to give it to you directly. You will be tested. You have to go through immense hardship, pay a price to get to where you want to be. to become who you want to be. If you want something, you may have to grow into a different version of yourself to have that thing in the first place. Are you ready to let go of that part of yourself to move forward into the new version of yourself? I think this is the ironic part of life, love, and the universe. We expect things to somehow magically happen without shifting our beliefs to begin with. Someone who doesn't believe they are lovable will never be able to feel loved, no matter how much someone loves them. Someone who does not believe themselves to be wealthy will never have enough money. Yet, we fret and raise our fists to the universe as if we have been wronged in some way. It takes a tremendous amount of courage and compassion to recognize this. That maybe you have been broken time and time again because you haven't had the courage to walk away when you should have. Maybe you chose someone you knew wasn't right for you. If you want to receive something from the universe, know that it will come indirectly. Maybe to experience love, you must first experience the most devastating heartbreak of all. Maybe to truly experience wealth, you must experience a financial drought. It takes a level of hope and belief to catch yourself in hardships and say, this is part of the process. This is here to teach me something. This is here to help me grow. And it will suck. This isn't some argument as to why suffering, pain, and heartbreak will feel good. The bottom line is that it won't. But through that experience, you can find something, learn something, and you can transform. Maybe you have been mistreated time and time again, and you have given up so much love that you have nothing left to give. Perhaps this is a sign now to change, to become someone who is willing to give that love back to themselves, instead of depriving themselves of it to be loved by others. The story, the narrative you have will define how you move forward. If you believe you are being punished by the universe, that will be your truth. If you believe the universe is giving you something, whether a lesson, a platform, a springboard, then that is how it will be. Remind yourself of this throughout your healing process. It will not always seem straightforward, and that what you ask for, you may not receive directly. Why no contact is important. Allow silence to speak the words that were never said. Silence can give room for nuance and space when another person cannot. More often than not, when you choose to stay in contact with a significant person, maybe your ex or ex-situationship, you may end up saying words you end up regretting later. The occurrence of a breakup introduces a wave of emotions or a cocktail of hormones that doesn't allow for rational thinking or proper compassionate discussion. For this reason, it's important for both parties to spend some time apart to process, feel, and reintegrate themselves before communicating again, should they choose. If you don't spend time alone, you don't know whether it's your emotions speaking or just an emotional reaction/pattern. When you spend time in silence, you can process things in a safe manner and create space and nuance for ideas. Obviously, this is hard, but it's an integral part of healing. If you want to get back together, no contact allows them to realize they truly want to be with you. If you want to heal, no contact allows the space to heal and let go. No contact will help regardless of the outcome you seek. If you don't spend time alone, You won't really know if you want them to choose you or if you are just hurt that they didn't. Maybe you wanting them to choose you is just a sign you haven't been choosing yourself. If you don't spend time alone, you don't truly know. Oftentimes, we try to mend the connection just to relieve ourselves of the pain. If we choose to do so, we repeat the same trauma cycles. More often than not, staying in contact leads to more drama, jealousy, and anxieties surrounding the relationship. Most of the damage that is created between exes occurs during contact after the breakup. If you are in no contact, remind yourself that you made the right choice.